Okay. Well, good morning. It's Easter Sunday, and I am currently splitting wood. Yesterday, my husband and I were cutting wood, uh, obviously for the winter, and it was a beautiful day. Got some sun on my face. And halfway through the day, he had mentioned to me that we had a tree in our parked out area. So when we first purchased our home and our property, we parked out kind of a lot of our 5¼ acres. And we did selective logging, and we cleaned up the ground, planted grass. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So in doing that, we did that for preservation and for a healthy forest and all the things and reasons that you do that for. And just really took the time when we started managing our property and really being good stewards of the land and doing what that actually means to us. And so in doing that, we really took pride in how we kept our property, because we care about it, right? As you should, as anyone should. Earth is our home, and we need to treat it like our home. But he told me that night, okay, we needed to cut a tree down because of the bugs. It's a white fir, so they're, for whatever reason, not as finicky as the standard red fir, grand fir. They're really kind of finicky and picky. So they required temperatures and water and different stuff. And just side note, so if you didn't know, when you have property that has a lot of fir on it, plant birch trees periodically throughout your property, because the birch trees actually will talk and converse with the fir trees. So if one tree is getting attacked, whether it's birch or fir, they will all send healing nutrients to that tree to help it survive. And they'll warn all the other trees to boost up their, preservation statuses, which is absolutely amazing. But I didn't know that until later on. But anyway, as it is right now, so we've got this tree in our side yard in our parked out area that we had to cut down, and I didn't really think too much of it. And as the day went by, we didn't cut it down, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we can save it. Maybe we can preserve it. Maybe we can nurse it back to health. It's a big tree. So it would be a noticeable loss. Now, anyone that knows anything about me, I walk the property. I lean against my trees. I talk to my trees. I converse with nature. And that's not like a hoity-toity hippie granola thing. I love my trees. I love nature, and I will lay on the ground and talk to the earth, and to really value, I'm gonna cry again, to really value where we live, and Mother Earth and everything that we have around us. So to say that cutting this tree would be a loss, big loss. So, my husband, I was, making hard-boiled eggs, and I see my husband walk across the lawn with his chainsaw, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's gonna cut it. And he cut it, and, I went out there and I told him, okay, we've got this dinner, whatever snack, let's eat this. And okay, so he came in, we ate it, and then we both went out there and hammered out just taking care of this tree as quickly as possible. So he cut the tree up, and I pulled the brush over by the fire pit, and my whole entire heart was just so freaking sad, man. We had tried so hard to keep our forests healthy. And you can't, it's, you know, you can't win them all. So as I'm cleaning up and he's gotten getting all the wood over to where we're splitting it, I was reminded that everything serves a purpose. And when I say I was reminded, it's not like a whisper. It's not like, oh yeah, my heart kind of remembers that. It was a literal, everything serves a purpose. The tree served a purpose for you. It gave you shade. It really helped nurture everything around it. And the bugs help serve a purpose too. That tree, you know, it sacrificed for the bugs so that no other tree would be harmed. So as I'm saying this, I'm still learning from this process, obviously. And for whatever reason, this is so tender to my heart. I don't even know how to explain it to anybody who doesn't know, but as we're cleaning up, and like I said, my husband had brought the wood over to the side of the house where we're splitting the wood, and I'm pulling the brush, and you know, I was told you want to get it cleaned up as quickly as possible so that the bugs don't feel that their dinner is getting taken away and they're gonna need to go somewhere else, so that they don't attack the other trees. So I'm raking up the dust, the needles, the extra little limbs and things like that, because you've got to get it cleaned up quickly. And you know, as I'm doing it and I'm thinking and listening to my heart and, you know, God's voice or my guide's voice, whatever, and I'm just kind of thinking like, oh man, I just really wish there was something we could have done to save the tree. And you know, and I'm raking, and as I'm raking, I can envision myself, because it's like any other task. You start in one area and you can see yourself growing, and I can see myself raking all the way over on the other side of this property, side of the property, you know, that's all parked out. And I was specifically told, you were told to leave that there. Focus on what is at hand. You need to get this off of the lawn and away from the other trees. Okay, totally stopped what I was doing, you know, resituated, started pulling it from the other side of where the tree had fallen and things like that. And so, you know, just staying on track. Stay on track. You've got to get this taken care of so it prevents the other trees from getting harmed with the bugs that have, you know, come out in the cutting and things like that. Okay, so break it all up, get it all cleaned up. I go over to the stump and I, you know, wipe it down. And as I'm looking at the growth rings, so we have been at this property for, this year marks 10 years, I think. 9 years, 10 years, has to be. So, I counted back from the outside in 10 years. And the growth rings on this are substantial, because we had went in and done selective logging so that the trees could breathe and be healthier. And, you know, it's more of a, you know, really focusing on allowing them to grow and do what it is they need to do, because the stronger they are, the healthier your forest will be. And I looked at that and I was reminded and told, look at all the good you have done. Like, look at that, measure that. That is part of you. You enabled this to happen. It just made my heart feel so good. And I was still, you know, lamenting, and my heart is still sad about this tree going down and being away. And so I thought, well, I don't want my hands to be idle. I don't want to sit here and think and cry, because that's what I will do. So I grabbed the rock rake that we have, that I used when I was putting in our lawn. And where we live, there is a lot of rocks. And I was pulling the rocks down from the bank where I had just planted a whole bunch of wildflower seeds, thinking, oh, this is going to be so beautiful, but I need to get those rocks off of that bank. And so as I'm doing that and I'm raking, I'm like, oh my God, it's like these rocks will not stop. Every time I pull rocks, there's more underneath it for me to pull. And I was reminded about when when I had put in the lawn and the amount of work that it took and the amount of freaking rocks that were there. And I was reminded of the lesson that I got from that particular time. And if picking rocks is like taking out the offenses that one has in their hearts, we think it's hard when we're doing this and seeing it like, oh, one rock leads to another. Think what it's like for, you know, that time, for me, it was, think what it's like for God to, you know, bring that out and to look at what you have in your heart, you know, pull those out, because it doesn't help you. And if what you focus on grows, stop focusing on the badness of rocks, but instead focus on the fact that, you know, they too are there for a purpose. And so often we don't even think about it. We just don't. Don't mind my chickens. They're, you know, being birds. So as I'm raking and I'm feeling this and I'm just like, okay. So learn, instead of being the rock, which prohibits flow, be what covers the rock. Accept the fact that it's there. Accept the fact that it's uncomfortable. Don't judge it whether it's good or it's bad. Just cover it. Cover it with love. Just like your trees cover the grass with shade. Cover it. Be the love that you want to be. And, you know, it doesn't mean that you have to accept the ugliness in the world or anything, but things that come to light often just need to be witnessed in order to be, I hate to say it like this, but in a sense validated, so that they can then, oh, okay, well, I've been seen. It's almost like a child who's being naughty. They really just want to be seen and, in a sense, recognized so that they can move forward. So anyway, I was feeling that, and still my heart is with my tree, and I go inside and I, you know, take a shower at the end of the day, and I'm sitting there on the couch and I've got my blankie that I made over me, and I was thinking, God, I just really miss my mom. And then I thought, I need to write down these lessons. So I grab my phone, open up the notes app, and I'm typing like crazy so I don't forget what it is I learned. I don't think in my whole entire life I will ever forget what it is that I learned yesterday. I hope to God that I don't, because my whole entire heart is just full right now. But I was missing my mom, and I was just, God, I wish, you know, as I'm typing this, I wish I could just talk to her. Just so you know, anyone that has the gift of mediumship or psychic or any of those abilities, oftentimes it does not apply to yourself. It's not like reading yourself for what is it that my body needs right now or things like that. It's like hearing from a loved one that you don't. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how it really works. All I know is that you're not fully able to, you know, in a sense, communicate whenever you want to with your loved ones. It's different when you're the seer, when you're the giver, when you're not the sitter, right? So as I'm sitting there and I'm typing this out, my husband comes up to me and he says, you need to take your frown and turn it around or something. And I looked at him and I smiled and I said, I think what you mean is take your frown, turn it upside down, and you'll find yours. I know, ho, ho. And he says, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. I just didn't know how to say it. And I started laughing and crying at the same time. Because when I was little and I would get sad, my mom would sing that song to me. So as this happens and I just start pouring out all of this to my husband, he just sits there and he's laughing and he's just hugs me and he says, I love that that tree meant so much to you, that it has this effect on you. I'm glad that I'm not the only one. And I'm glad that your mom could come through and tell you to smile and know that it's okay. So it was a minute there, and I had brought in a wedge, the wedge that my husband cut. Looks like a little pie wedge. Loggers do this in trees to ensure that the tree's gonna fall where you want it to fall. So I had taken that and brought it inside, and he said, what did you do this for? And I said, it's mine, don't touch it, it's from my tree. And he said, okay, you know, he gets it. And so anyway, last night I had that emotional set aside and, you know, dreamt some really crazy dreams that had nothing to do with that, and woke up this morning and my daughter called, my oldest daughter, she called, and I was telling her about it. Freaking cried again. And then I sent a message to my sister, and we had a good long visit in regards to that. But also in regards to the tree thing, she told me a story that I had totally forgotten. We lived on 12.5 acres in a very well-known area of town. And we had 3 large trees in our front yard, and then there was a 4th tree on the side yard, but it would shade the garden from the morning sun. And so my parents decided to cut down that tree, and my mom cried for days and days. And every time we would walk across the street to the stop store to get a soda or a candy bar or whatever, she would put her hand on the stump because she had it cut high. She would put her hand on the stump and apologize to it. And I never caught that. I never understood it. But as my sister told me this story, you remember it. And then I remembered that she used to paint it white, and then she would put little ceramic skunk family on it and kind of decorate it up. But it was always, she never wanted to cut down any trees. And we never did. Those were the only trees that were really on our property, other than a big pine that had gotten hit by lightning and we had to get rid of back up in the pasture. But yeah, it was never a point of having to cut trees. She never wanted to cut trees. It would break her heart. So anyway, it's been a really long video, but I had to share that with you. Not realizing until just now the multiple depth of messages that comes with that, and the sacrifice of the tree for the other ones. Anyway, yeah, happy Easter. I don't know what that means to you. Happy Easter, happy Resurrection Day, happy Fertilization Day. I don't know. Spring equinox holiday. It's a good day, and I hope everyone has some form of sunshine to recharge your solarness. Get your vitamin D. Get your feet on the earth. And if nobody's told you today, I love you. You have a purpose here. You are so important. Go out and get your feet in the earth, on the grass. Drink your water. Get some sunshine. And keep your head and heart filled with peace and love. It's a great day. Bye.